What up, y'all? It's Andre the Con. You know what's going on. You are now tuned in to the Con TV. Today, I just wanted to talk about some things that I've been kind of realizing, some things that I kind of want to get off my chest and ventilate a little bit. The title of this video is called Coming of Age, Accepting Reality and Cosmic Purpose. The whole point of this video is to kind of just show you what the whole point of this channel is to kind of give you a deeper understanding of what I'm going through, and hopefully you can take my experiences and my mistakes and my failures and learn from them. You know, since the time I was 18, I've been searching for something meaningful to attach myself to, a certain purpose to cling on to live something deeper than just, fleshly desires or, materials, you know what I'm saying, or money. I've always been searching for something that I could really, that's kind of like intangible, something that you can't necessarily get a grasp on, but you get a grasp on it somehow, which is really strange to explain, kind of contradictory. But, I call those, the years from 18 to 22 are definitely my awakening years, through my experiences in college, not necessarily the academia aspect of it, but just my experience with other people, my experience with some books that I've read, even some failures that I've made and some mistakes that have happened. I've accumulated that this is definitely my awakening stage. This time from 18 to 22 is very confusing, especially nowadays when we're put on with so much responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, after you graduate at 22 years old, get your bachelor's, right? You're supposed to go off and get your master's, and then you're supposed to get your PhD, and then you're supposed to, it's just, everyone thinks they have it figured out at this age, but in reality, they don't. And one of the things I've learned about having it figured out is that no one has it figured out. Like, we can figure out what we want to do. We can have an inclination to what that is, but the way life is, and since life is always ever changing and it's so pivotal at times, one day things could be fine. The next day, I guess what I'm trying to say is, one day you might want to be like a construction worker, and then next thing you know, you hear a dope rap song, now you want to be a rapper. You know what I mean? It's just, people have all these different feelings about and desires about what they do and how they see themselves. So it's very confusing, and 18 to 22 is really coming of age. A lot of things that you thought were real collapse. You know what I mean? A lot of things that you thought were true are actually untrue, and it's kind of difficult dealing with that, and I've struggled to accept the reality that I'm in now, not in a bad way, but accepting that, these things aren't, like, the reality in my mind versus the reality that's outside of my mind isn't parallel. You know what I'm saying? And I think realizing that was really, really difficult for me, from women, to jobs, to just fake friends, to just all kinds of things. People just change on you, things just change on you, and it gives you a different feeling about how you live, and it gives you a different feeling about who you are. And after a while, I started to realize that the physical world, like the one that I'm in right now, it's so fabricated. A lot of the things that we think to be true is actually not even the whole truth. It's all partial, you know what I mean? A lot of things are obscured, whether that's just because of your biological deficiencies, things that we can't necessarily see. What I mean is, animals, they have these weird things in their eyes, they have these that give them night vision, you know what I mean? Or sharks, they swim in the ocean, they can smell blood. You know what I mean? I can smell blood, but I can't smell blood in the water. I can't breathe in the water. You know what I mean? So certain things, like the way you're built, the way we're designed, it can hinder us from actually understanding the world to its full capacity. You know what I mean? Because we're just built differently. And that was one thing that really tripped me out. I'm sorry. But throughout the whole time of this awakening, and throughout this whole time of this coming of age, and this mental collapse of me trying to figure out what reality is and all that kind of stuff, I was really in search of something like a purpose, you know what I mean? And I'm not really the religious type, I don't really believe in like a heaven or a hell. I don't really believe in like the Bible, but I do believe in a God. I believe in a higher power. I believe that there is something that kind of made this all happen, and I'm not too sure like whether it's a guy or whether it's a woman. I don't know if it's a being at all, if it's just, but it feels like a certain kind of energy, like spirit, you know what I'm saying? The soul, these certain things these certain properties that we can't necessarily hold on to or grasp with our hands or whatnot, but we can identify. And, from animals to plants to humans ourselves, you know what I mean? There definitely is something existent, but that's a whole different other story. I guess like I've ventilated in the past that I want to be like an educator somehow. I want to say things, I want to do things that make people inspired. I want to say things that make people think differently. I want to do things that make people think differently. That's the main thing, through my art, to these YouTube videos, to what I read, to what I write, to all that stuff, whatever it is. I just want people to think differently, think more creatively, like critically think a little bit more. And that's just been my goal. And I kind of realized that when I was like 19, that's what I really wanted to do. And slowly I've been placed in the right direction to be able to do that through my, physical outlets, which is art, making these videos and things like that. So I call that a cosmic purpose. A cosmic purpose is a purpose that was designed and given to you by God. And most of the time when it comes to developing a cosmic purpose, we're not too sure what it is at first. For me, I was stuck struggling. I was like, man, like, do I want to be a DJ? Do I want to be a graphic designer? Do I want to be a painter? Like, I was going through mad different things because I wanted to do something creative. You know what I mean? And then I landed on a camera. Then I landed on pen and paper and reading. And then slowly I'm starting to get into film, and those kinds of things. Those were like my tools, you know what I mean? To express what I'm feeling, to express how I think, to live out my cosmic purpose. So I just want y'all to know that in the future, and just in general, me, I don't know everything, but I've been, from the last few months, from me just like posting my thoughts on Instagram, from me just tweeting something, or from me just making a YouTube video, somehow the universe has been showing me that, this is the route that you need to go. You need to keep continuing doing this stuff. And I've been getting a lot of great feedback from people just telling me the exact thing that I want. Is like, I've been thinking differently about what I do. I've been trying to step back and really get a grasp on what I'm doing and the effect that it has in the world. Because one thing about me, if you talk to me, I'm super huge on cause and effect. That is so real. Karma is real as hell. You know what I mean? From squashing a bug to telling someone fuck you. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of karmic reaction out here. And, I'll make that into a whole different video. But I just don't want y'all to think that, I'm 21. I'm still growing. You know what I mean? But I have the wherewithal to know that I'm never done processing. Life is an ultimate process of processing, if that makes sense. Like, it's ever changing, like you're never gonna wake up one day and have it all figured out. You know what I mean? So don't feel bad about that. Look, I'm only 21, you know what I'm saying? I got older homies who are like damn near pushing 30, you know what I'm saying? And I learn a lot from them. They learn a lot from me. And you can learn from anybody. Ralph Waldo Emerson, haven't really read too much about him, but I used to read his quotes a lot because he just had really cool quotes. And I'm a butcher right now, but basically he said, every man is superior to me in a way that I can learn from. Meaning like, just because you meet someone and they might not be intellectually the smartest person you've ever met, they could know something or be skilled in something that you might not know of, or that you might not even heard of or thought of or whatever, and they could totally change your mind. So be open to what's out there. Be open to other people and their experiences. Don't judge other people for what they're thinking or how they see the world, because within their perception, you might perceive something a little differently, for the better, you know what I mean, or for the worse. It depends. but there's always something to lose. There's always something to gain, you know? So that's the end of this video. I just want to put that out there. You know, fuck it. I'm all in. This is what I'm going to be doing. And I hope y'all feel the same way about whatever you are pursuing. If you haven't figured it out yet, don't stop grinding. Keep going out there and keep trying to chase whatever it is. You can, just as long as you have the inclination, like, yo, I want to do something better. I want to do something more in society. I don't want to be a common person. I don't want to just have a regular job. Like, you know, I don't want to do what society is telling me to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't let society fit you into where they want you to be. You know, fit yourself into where you want to be. You know what I mean?